And when I saw it happening live, I'm like, man, I'm not giving them the keys to the castle. And so right now, if it came down to two, and it was rhyming a Mexican, I'm not sure where I would be right now. I can't tell you. I can't tell you.
Wow. That's so sad.
Call me Archie. Call me Archie and George Jefferson rolled up and won. But I'm saying, Ben, have you ever driven? Ben, have you driven through the south side of Chicago? Have you ever stopped on a corner and looked at the work crews? I would tell you to look at the work crews and look at the people that are on 55th and King Drive. Yes. And we are going to count the black people that are not working.
But let me tell you, I'm more so concerned about the license plates being Indiana plates and not Illinois plates more than the race being Hispanics and not blacks. I mean, you have to realize that we have a high population of Hispanics in Chicago. And what the Hispanic community has is they have unity. And so what we lack in our communities is that the south side of Chicago looks a certain way because blacks and mainly minorities live on the south side. But let you go to the Hispanic community. Oh, it's great businesses, great schools, great stores, great everything. And we just need to be able to do the same thing in our communities.
Well, go ahead, Ben. I didn't say louder. I said because they smoke. They're outside. We smoke outside. I don't remember louder. I don't know if it was louder, but I do think that black people get pulled up because we smoke outside. Well, not we. Some people smoke outside.
About Hispanic people getting all the construction jobs over black people, as absurd as your notion that more black people get arrested for marijuana because they're doing it outside.
Ben, what are you basing? Well, I can show you the state of Illinois statistics that show that black people do 1.25% of the business. Latinos do 6.7%. White women do. So what I'm telling you is.
You were saying something completely different before. You were saying that, look, you just go down and look at the work crews and we'll see the Hispanics. So that's why I said you and I will get into
Right. Oh, we can. We definitely can.
So then we'll have lunch.
I can show you pictures too, but you can go on my Facebook page because I take pictures of it all the time. All the time. You are listening to the Talk of Chicago. Live on the line, we have Ben Jarafsky from the Chicago Reader in studio. We have Miss Allison Scrutchins from Everyday Entrepreneur. We got a couple callers. We're going to take those calls. First on the line, I got Janice. Janice, what you got for me, sis?
Okay, what I got for you, sis, I know that black men cannot get jobs in this construction trade. But I like to tell this man here, it's something my grandfather said and my mother used to say, give me that honest, right races in the deep of the South versus this white liberal in the heart of the North. And I'm going to tell you something. When that Hispanic Democratic organization was started, nobody said a word.
I said a word. I wrote about it. And I will repeat this point.
And I'll tell you something else.
Hold on, Ben.
Organized by Richard Daley. Richard Daley organized it.
Satan himself. Yes, I know.
And then let me just, can I just, and I just want to point this out.
Richard Daley.
I want to point.
I've never voted for a Daley. I've never voted for a Madigan. I've never voted for a Paczynski, and I did not vote for a Clinton, and that includes Hillary.
Oh.
No, I don't live in the city. I live in the suburbs. But I would never vote. And let me put it to you this way. I would not vote for, what's his name there, that's the president-elect now.
Trump.
I did not want Hillary Clinton to come in because Bill Clinton did more dirt to black people playing a horn and acting like and singing I read Vernon can read book where he said he could sing every stanza of the Negro National Anthem. Yeah. But I look at it like this. I want to see this sanctuary city done over. The president-elect promised he'd do it. And as for Barack Obama, to me, he has been the worst thing ever happened to blacks.
You heard that?
He has been the worst thing ever happened to black people. He took $40 million from the black colleges. 28,000 black kids couldn't go back to school. We needed a DREAM Act. And then now he's up here talking about the Affordable Health Care Act. Man, are you kidding me? My health care bill went up. I know a lot of people ain't buying medicine because they can't afford it. And I'd like to say my father was a veteran. My uncle was a veteran. They called him a war hero when they treated him like dirt when he came back home. Where are our rights at? You give $126 billion to UNO. How many of those students are legals?
Oh, wait. See, hey. Oh, so I told you. Then I think I told you.
In that last election,
Say that again. She didn't vote for Trump.
did you vote for Trump in the last election?
Oh, she's off the line, but she said no, she didn't. But she wasn't going to vote. But Ben, I think that you had your order wrong. I think that Chewy didn't win because of the prejudice of black folks against Latinos, because we see it every day. Now, I don't want to fan those flames. What I would like to do is figure out how there is an opportunity for us to work together. But I'm going to tell you what I'm not for is working together so that we can advance the causes of Latinos and black people are climbed over. I would tell you that if you look at even the police shootings, right? Most of the times, if it's not a white person that shot him, it's a Latino who shot him. If you pay attention, look at was it Rakia Boyd? You can look at quite a few of those tapes. Ben, so where is our city? Where is our city? Where is our state? What are we supposed to do in this next election cycle? Because I'm here to tell you, brother, it's going to be Armageddon. Armageddon. $50 million deposit, and he just getting started. What do we got coming?
My advice to you, Mace, is to go back into the consulting business if you haven't left it already to get some of that $50 million. That would be my personal advice to you and you alone. Now, in terms of what the woman said, I believe, and I'll just repeat this, that the competition between blacks and Hispanics or blacks and Latinos is a contrivance. I don't believe it's a legitimate, real.
That's because you're the liberal guy who wants to believe that it's all kumbaya. Ask the brothers on the street for real.
Wait, I never said it was kumbaya. I mean, in fact, we're having a conversation about this subject. Prove that it's not kumbaya. I'm saying it's not legitimate. I'm just saying it's not. It's like there's a lot of issues that are manufactured. Donald Trump manufactured a birthing issue, wrote it all the way to the White House.
I think Hillary manufactured it.
The issue is the competition between blacks and Latinos. So I spend my whole life dealing with issues that are phony issues that are put up by people that enable all kinds of.
Ben, pause for 1 second. WVON listeners, if you are out there, you are awake, and you are listening to this conversation, I need for you to call me and tell me, is this manufactured? Is the split between blacks and Latinos manufactured? Allison, do you think it's manufactured?
No, it's real.
No, it is. I believe there are people who believe it's a real thing, but it's a manufactured. It's not real.
It's manufactured by the white power structure that has decided that they have decided that the new preferred minority race is the Latinos, and so they are pushing the alliance between whites and Latinos, and blacks are the odd man out. WVON listeners, if you are out there, give us a call, 773-591-1690. Is the black and Latino conflict manufactured?
Man, how could you?
Look at those phone lines lighting up. Woo! Look at them going.
He's so speechless.
Hold on, man. Let's see if we can take a call blind. Caller, are you there?
Yeah.
Caller? Hello. Hey, caller. We're asking. I'm great. We're trying to find out, is there a conflict between the blacks and Latinos, or is it manufactured?
I think he's full of mess, and I'm going to tell you this. If Willie Wilson was running today and we could just turn back time, boom, shakalaka, I'm over him again. And I feel the same way that you feel about Latinos killing black people. Let's tell the truth. If it's not white people, it's Latinos killing us. And even if we're not talking about the killings, it's who talking about looking out for us. Latinos don't look out for us.
All right, sis, hold on. Thank you very much for your call. Callers, I need y'all to go through the calls quick. Is the Latino and black conflict true or manufactured? Caller, what you got?
Listen, that is more manufactured than a lot of Christmas toys and Easter bunnies, things of that nature. The reality is this: they see the demographics are changing. They know that by 2020, the minority will be the majority in the United States of America, and it's already true here in the city of Chicago. If you divide Latinos and blacks, you conquer the community.
Bingo.
That's the only thing they have left to use against us.
Thank you, caller.
We've got to figure out a way to overcome that.
Right, but they are using it in Latino, and the Latinos are playing into it though. Caller, what you got for me? Okay, yeah, all right, caller, what you got? Is the Latino?
They're playing into it. But you know something? I'm a retired educator. I used to sub. I'm trying to get back in the sub, but I ain't going into that. But I have worked in the Latino schools as a substitute teachers. Those schools I ran entirely different. They hired Latino teachers. The only black people you see in there are the ones sweeping the floor, the ones in the kitchen. They have unity, which is something that we lack. And I'm going to get off the line and let someone else talk. Yeah. But I did vote for Chewy Garcia. Anything is better than Ron.
Oh, I heard that. Ladies and gentlemen, so Ben, according to the callers, you only had one person that said it was manufactured, and he said it was real.
Okay, let me just say this. All right.
You got 30 seconds.
I remember the show they had on Sunday morning with Herb, or Sunday afternoon, where Herb Kent would have like the Dells versus the Temptations. Whoever Herb Kent was for would win. I feel this is as fixed as that thing.
All right, Ben Jarofsky. Ben Jarofsky, tell the listeners how they can find you.
Yeah, please. Tell the listeners, first of all, I hope they all read me at the Reader. Where just go to thereader.com. Everything I write is on there. And Maze, thank you very much for allowing me this opportunity to talk. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
We're going on that car ride.
We are.
Right, and we'll have lunch.
Allison, real quick, tell everybody how they can find you.
You can find me on social media at It's Allison Renee. ALLYSONRENEE.
Allison, the everyday entrepreneur, Ben Jarofsky. When we come back, we are going to have the barbershop live in the studio. Fellas getting it in. Ladies, you might want to tune into this conversation so you can learn how to get your mind right. We'll be right back.
You got time to go take a picture with the food right there?
Yeah.
You just don't know what he's going to do, essentially.
Yeah.
And though the judge had spoken to him before the jury
For real. For real. You should.
So what he
see.
could and could not do. You're talking about a man whose mental competence he has been questioned twice. So, no doubt, there were a lot of people wondering, what will he do? What will he say? Turns out what he said was rather matter-of-fact. Basically, don't believe it, I'm not crazy.
President Obama made a trip to Capitol Hill Wednesday to warn that Republicans will pay a steep political price for trying to get his signature health care law. Respondent Ron Roger.
He told Democrats not to, quote, rescue the GOP by giving them votes on a replacement plan, worse than the Affordable Care Act. The president branding the new GOP plan Trump Care.
Said it took the first official steps in repealing Obamacare. I'm Elliot Francis. Macy's announced Wednesday it's eliminating more than 10,000 jobs and plans to move forward with 68 store closures. Correspondent Bill Michaels has more.
Macy's also lowered its full-year earnings forecast. The retailer says sales at established stores fell 2.1% in November and December compared to the same period last year. Macy's pointed to changing consumer behavior and said it reflects challenges facing much of the retail industry. The department store chain plans to invest some of its savings in growing its digital business. Shares in Macy's fell more than 8% in after-hours trading. I'm Bill Michaels.
All right, y'all. Look, this is the food from Burns. Look, my fault, from Denny's Steakhouse. Now check it out, real soon, Denny's Steakhouse, 47th and King Drive. We trying to get it in, you know what I'm saying? Ricky, make sure my guests are straight, get them straight for the studio.
Okay. Let's get a picture real quick.
Come on, Pete.
Then my open magic.
All three.
Just as there's more to Geico than saving you money, Geico also gives you 24/7 access to licensed agents online, on the phone, or on the Geico app. And while I am a mighty elf queen, I am also a mighty big fan of barbecue potato chips.
Get on the set, Ricky.
Alright, let's go. Let's get y'all set up real quick. Okay.
Expect great savings.
You can't bring food in the studio? Nah, you can't.
With Math Made Easy, students control the pace of their learning. Math Made Easy even comes with a 30-day risk-free trial.
I'm grab my phone real quick. Math
Made Easy is a proven tool that will boost students' grades and their confidence. It's an affordable alternative to pricey tutoring. Here, let me text the number to you. It's 1-866-598-MATH. Or you can visit mathmadeeasy.com.
Math Made Easy.
1-866-598-MATH.
Check it out, see if you can hear everything.
1-866-598-6284.
Insane Wayne Fields. The B-side. Hey, boo-boo, this is Insane Wayne. Hi, Wayne. We do it Monday through Friday. Flipping the 45. Do you love your Dusties?
Hi, I'm Chicago's own Lisa Ray. Insane. The B-side. I want your B-side. I wanna say
How you been though, Ryan?
if you really want
Been
to
good.
work out and have a real good time.
Just grinding, man. Trying to get everything together. Trying to deliver. You know? That's where the pressure lies.
Yeah.
You know?
I need to come see you, man. Get taped up in the back.
Man, I've been so busy, man. I just got back from I took my little baby up to Key Lime Cove, you know. Yeah, so I rode up there yesterday, just got back. He said, come up here with this. I had to go, you know, get my shelf, make this happen.
Plans to move small farm production from the U.S. to Mexico, but now Ford
need some water in there?
says Ford will
I'll actually take one of the lemonades we get
$1.5
back.
billion plus plant there and add 700 jobs in Michigan to build electric self-driving cars.
We're also encouraged by the pro-growth policies that President-elect Trump and the new Congress have indicated that they will pursue.
Today, the focus is on car sales. Economists surveyed by Bloomberg are thinking there will have been a slight drop last month from November levels. We'll also get a clearer view today of what the Federal Reserve is thinking in terms of how many interest rate hikes we expect this year. The minutes
I just said I'm gonna go.
Fed policy meeting.
Right there.
My runtime has become
Camera right in my face.
emotional. As I listened to Nicholas Sparks' new novel, 2x2, I pulled out my phone again and lingered over the images with a smile on my face.
Move up to the mic.
To be the father to such an amazing little girl.
Good thing no one can see me cry out here.
Get 2x2.
Yeah.
You start a 30-day trial at audible.com/acts.
Move Pete's mic because he's way over. Look at his head is cut off. So you need to pull his back.
Thank you, sir.
Woo! Man! Now I don't even know how to drink the lemonade or my... Man. Hey, babe. Vinny's here. So I had him bring... Make sure it's a plate for Carrie, please. Vinny Steakhouse in the building. We about to do our third thistle. 47th and King Drive. Pete, that's in your neighborhood, brother.
Absolutely.
Support that brother. Uh-oh. Y'all ready?
Let's go.
Your mythological is comical. The astronomical is fucking like the crew bombing you. And I'm bombing in your crew through. With your fusical, mystical, magical. Rick, get him right. Then vocabulary too. Competition or disedition, it's all brand new. You're through. I'm interplanetary and like Doctor Who.
Just came up.
So who? Bone to get tripped on, word is bone. With the rhymes to the AM focus wrong. Now Quincy from the back on the block, I'm not selling crack. I'm coming in with the fat funk flows and track. So what you saying, black? With all that yakety yak? My artifacts can be beat with bats. I say it. Move them. Thing in this world. Make sure it's camera, all that. I get in ya. What's up, Chicago? It's your man, Maze Jackson, and we are in our final hour on this Wednesday at 11:06 p.m. Now, if you have been rocking with us all night. You have probably enjoyed yourself. We started out with Miss Chelsea Harvey, better known as Shy Girl About Town, Myology, Maya Seals, and the social media expert of Chicago, Tennille Jackson of Digital Vision Enterprises. Then in the 8 o'clock hour, I'm thinking the morning. My time is all switched around. Then in the 10 o'clock hour, we talked to Mr. Ben Jarafsky from the Chicago Reader, and we talked about the economic causes of violence. Right about the halfway mark, Miss Allison Scrutchins, everyday entrepreneur, joined us, and we continued the conversation, and we trying to figure out what's going on in the big world. And now the hour every show is an hour that I look forward to, right? So, it's one topic, one show, one setup, one set of guests that I look forward to. And so today, in the 11 o'clock hour, it was a lot of estrogen in the room starting early. And so I had to get some counterbalance. So I said, you know what? Let's have some conversation with the fellas. And so I said, what better theme than the barbershop? So you know what I did? I said to myself, Self, if we're going to talk like the barbershop, you might as well call the barber. So the first person I called was my main man, Vernon Spells, owner of Hair Expert. You know what? I'm going to let him tell you about it. Vernon, tell people what you do. Now, you are live on Facebook, too, so say what's up to the people right now. Yep, you live on Facebook right now.
I'm owner of the Hair Experts.
What's your name? Tell me your name.
I'm Vernon Spells, owner of the Hair Experts 1 and 2. 1 is located at 5401 South Wentworth. We've been there for 12 years. 2 is located at 4653 South King Drive. We've been there for 7 years. Just taking care of the community. Me and Mace hooked up, did some free back-to-school haircuts a couple months back for the kids. We came here, mentioned it on WVON, and we've been rolling ever since.
Now, Vern is a little bashful. Not bashful, but I won't say bashful. But Vern would also tell you, because we've been running back and forth in here, because Vern is an entrepreneur. Now, I like entrepreneurs. I like economic empowerment, right? Vern, my man Vern, we talk all the time about forget these programs. How we gonna get a piece of this economic change? So one of the other things that Vern is doing is bringing businesses to Bronzeville, and so we were all grubbing in the green room because I think at the end of next month you are gonna be opening up a steakhouse on the corner of 47th and King Drive. Now, tell me what you're talking about. Because I was at T-Bone, I was eating.
It was kind of tasty, too. Well, what we're doing is we're taking over the old H-Dog hot dog space that was at the corner of 47th and King Drive, directly across the street from the Harold Washington Cultural Center. Once H-Dog's closed down, we've just found ourselves just searching, for good places to eat in the neighborhood, and we came up with a nice concept, something that was just a little bit different than what was in the neighborhood. So I got with my chef, Dorian Maricas, and we came up with the concept. We approached the owner, and we're probably about 4 to 6 weeks away from opening.
So we should expect. So for those of y'all, and I got to describe it for the people. Now don't mind me in my description, because this description is all love, right? So if you saw the movie Coming to America, right? They said you got McDonald's and you got McDowell's. We got Ronnie's, we got Vinny's. Now let me tell you though, there ain't no steak at Ronnie's like the steaks at Vinny's. So I want to encourage you all to support our entrepreneurs. You know me, I'm Mr. What's in it for the black people. Now, that means me too. I'm black, so I won't mind. But what's in it for the black people? Now, also, ladies and gentlemen, joining me in the studio, now this guy go back, right? He probably doesn't recognize that he was part of my formative years in college. Right? It was like when I finally felt like we hit the big. You know what? I remember being like, we are in the big time. The big time. Because I went to Cotton Club. So if you are U of I, you went to U of I, then you would know this gentleman as one of our hosts of the Cotton Club. Now, Pete was probably the first time I was like, I see somebody I know that could actually be a comedian. And he told jokes and I was cracking up. I had my good suit on. I think I had on a rayon outfit. It was during the rayon era. So I had on a rayon walking suit doing my thing. But I had the opportunity to catch back up with Pete. And, you know, Pete is another person that I have followed on Facebook. And so I thought that he'd be a great addition to the conversation. Now, Pete, tell people what you do.
I'm in technology sales. Been in technology sales. I'm in technology sales. Been in technology sales for about 20 years now.
Okay.
That's pretty much it. Travel, just watching our city. And,
well, I'm going to tell you, Pete has a very interesting perspective on life. The other day, tell us what did you made a list, but you said you exist in a perpetual, what was it?
Oh, I said I exist in a perpetual state of annoyance.
A perpetual state of annoyance. Now explain that to me, brother.
Well, you know, you follow me on Facebook. Sometimes I can be a tad bit critical. People sometimes mistake being critical as angry at the world or hate or things of that nature. So I just wanted to clarify. A lot of stuff just annoys me. So I'm not really mad at anybody. I'm not mad at anybody. I don't hate on anyone. It's just I'm annoyed. So, I mean, I'm in a perpetual state of annoyance. Look at what we're dealing with.
Perpetual state of annoyance. So we're going to start right there. In a perpetual state of annoyance. Yeah, what's going on in Chicago? You know what? So let me break this down for our listeners. Listeners, give us a call, 773-591-1690. Fellas, if you got something you want to talk about, call us. Ladies, if you got a question that you want answered from a male perspective, I think I got the guys in here to give it to you, right? So, now look, fellas, look. Yeah, hey, no pun intended. Well, maybe some pun intended, but guys, you know, I had some millennials in the other day, and we were. If you're like everybody, unless you've been under a rock, you saw the 60 Minutes special as it related to the violence that is going on in Chicago. A couple days ago, we had some millennials in here. They talked to us about the savage life. They talked to us about kind of what's going on in the minds of our young people. And, you know, I read the comments, the post comments after the conversation. And one of the things that the women said was, it's time for the brothers to stand up. It's time for the brothers to stand up. And I was thinking, like, you want us to stand up to your nappy-headed dreadlock kid with a gun, and I got to get home to my child. Now, that was a broad generalization, and I feel like I sounded like a Chicago police officer for a minute there. Woo, I was taking over. But what, fellas, talk to me about what's going on with the young people in our community, and what is our role as black men? Pete, I'm gonna start with you. What you got for me?
There's a lack of jobs as a whole. You know, we're the most unemployed group out here. So when you have men, you know, there's a natural propensity, you know, to gather, and then, you know, I truly believe that these young men want to be productive, but without the necessary resources, without the necessary direction, and left to the vices of the street, they're in survival mode. You know, we can try to, you know, castigate these and, you know, put them down and categorize them, but at the end of the day, these are children who have grown up in a harsh environment with little or no support, with little or no resources, with little or no direction, but you want them to figure out a way to eat and provide shelter for themselves and sometimes other people. So, you know, it's a complex dynamic that is not going to be, there's no, you know, we're not going to get, 100,000 black men to stand up and change all of that. It's a larger shift in that, and I think that's kind of an oversimplification.
So Pete, you used a lot of big words, and I'm gonna just say this.
I'm sorry.
It's all good. It's all good. This is we inform, and this is where we get this is the brain power. So I got my dictionary. I got spell check going on, and I hear all of that, right? But I'm an employer as well. And I would tell you that I have provided hundreds of jobs myself. And even in providing those hundreds of jobs, I haven't always seen that our young men either, I'm not going to say they don't want a job, but once they get to the job, a lot of times, I used to pay people, they work hard for 2 weeks, they get a check, then they gone for the next 2 weeks until that check is gone and they come back. Where is the disconnect? Vern?
Well, I have a slightly different take on things.
Okay.
I also have employed, hundreds of our people over the years. But I see it like this. I see a lot of people benefiting from negative things being pushed on our community. That's a big part of it. I know I sound kind of old when I talk about the music and things like that. You go through all the stations on the radio, and the only station that you hear the type of disrespect and negativity is when you get to a station that's supposed to be for our kids. Mm-hmm. And I don't know how people get away with it. How who's supposed to stand up and say, you know what, you're not going to push that type of music and that type of negativity into our kids who are already struggling to find jobs in some of the worst schools and in violent neighborhoods. It's somebody has to say, you know what, you're going to stop benefiting from our deaths.
So, that's a very interesting perspective. Because, I think when I was growing up, right? So I think back to, Pete, maybe you remember this. Vern, you might be our junior. Do you remember Calvin Butts and C. Dolores Tucker? And remember Tupac used to curse C. Dolores Tucker out, and Reverend Calvin Butts got in his steamroll and he crushed up all the records. And we all said, hey man, it's not the music. Music can't make people do what they're doing. So, does the music have more influence over our kids than their fathers?
Yeah, I would say yeah. I say a lot of our kids are in search just to be liked. They're not. Love is at home in most of the homes, but they are searching to be liked by someone else. And I feel like that's a big thing. So when that light come in and they're not, they don't appreciate the love, because that love comes with discipline, and the love comes with what actions, what are you doing in school, what are you doing after school, all of those type of things. Then they just settle for wearing their pants a certain way or doing things just so people can like them.
Pete, anything?
Yeah, I think to dovetail on what he's saying, I think the music kind of does play a role. I mean, they realized, back when we were in school, Flight to Power, we immediately went out, got dashikis, leather, African patches, and things of that nature. So then what they did, they just took that and they took it up a couple notches, but spun it on their behalf. Mm-hmm. So, you went from talking about Flight to Power, self-empowerment, knowledge, because they saw that we gravitated to that. They then took that same tool that we used to back in the late 80s and 90s, early 90s, that we were vibing off of, and turned it against us. So now, you have things called mumble rap. Mm-hmm. How does mumble rap work? Right. So
that's a hit. I think we got
it. Exactly. So, it's an oxymoron. So, to the point, it's just more tools used to, for lack of a better words, dumb our children down. Yes. And then, as you were saying, is that, you have different types of, it's the value system that dictates how the child comes out. If you have a structured home where the child is expected to come home and do certain things, execute certain tasks, and there's certain expectations, and you've got mothers and fathers checking in on these kids, there tends to be, it's not a perfect thing, but it tends to be a little variation from the program. When you don't have this, you have kids that are in search of what? Love. Where do they find this love? In the street, because the street becomes your family.
So I'm going to ask a question real quick. See, it used to be a time, and then we're going to move on to the next topic. So, you see Junebug out in the street acting a fool, plumb fool. Now, Junebug has dreads. Junebug has on, them dangly, them spangly jeans with the pockets, right? Junebug got on like a Montclair coat and some red eyes. And Junebug is acting a fool. Do you say something to Junebug or do you not? Burn! What you got?
Well, it depends on what context I'm coming in contact with Junebug in. Okay, if Junebug is coming into my business or one of my businesses, then yes, I will say something to Junebug, because he may realize that, I'm inside of someone else's establishment, and his rules are his rules. Now, if we're outside, if I don't know him, then no, I won't say anything to him.
Okay, we gotta know. Pete, do you say something to Junebug if he is outside acting a plumb fool in our community?
I can't be creative. I'm gonna have to say no. I mean, unless he's interacting with a female or someone I'm trying to protect. Otherwise, I'm gonna stay in my lane, because it's not like the old days.
All right, so I'm gonna tell you like this. I think about that all the time. It used to be a time you can ask these guys. I would pull over my truck in a minute and be like, "Hey man, what you doing?" They tell me something, and I'd say, "Man, come on, I can get your job and you come work with me." Nowadays, I really don't, and I don't want to be one of the guys that's part of the problem, but I also want to make sure that I live. And when I heard some of the things about the savage life and everything that these young people talk about, just made me think twice. All right, let me ask a question. So there's this song, and I want to talk about the influence of music on you as an adult, right? So, when I was 30 years old, I think about this story. Y'all know this song called Imaginary Players by Jay-Z. Remember this song, 30 to 40 grand, beat it, right?
Right.
And we're going to bring this together. So, I listen to Jay-Z, I listen to music, and how much influence does music have on you as an adult in the choices that you make, right? Does the materialism in music affect you? Do you think you are judged by it? Do you seek to aspire in the same ways, right? I always wanted to, the song, I want a Range Rover. What's the difference, 30, 40 grand? Beat it.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Are you influenced by music and lifestyle and videos that you see in the world?
Well, let me say, I don't watch videos anymore.
Okay.
I'm 42 years old, and I really don't listen to rap as well, so it doesn't affect me like that. But I do see it affecting the youth. I do see it affecting guys that may be slightly younger than me that are, still, listening to it. They're still wearing their pants sagging. They're still doing, things that I know has been influenced on them by the rap music. So I see it, but I'm not a part of it. No.
Okay. What about you, Pete?
Next question.
Right. I'm telling you, man. That Jay-Z, man. That Jay-Z will put you in the jams every time.
So to be honest, at times, that's why I'm so aware of the brainwashing. I've been on vacation. A few drinks later, I find myself with a bottle in my hand, shaking it in the air. You know, so I mean, you get caught up in the moment. You know, that's what they sell. They sell a good time. You sell a lifestyle. You sell, you know, rides on boats. You sell, you know, Bel Air. You sell, you know, Club Live, et cetera, et cetera. So I mean, I think we all, you know, to a certain degree. I mean, I definitely, for me, you know, kind of engaging from time to time, and what I may consider luxury is kind of justification for the grind. So I think it's a manageable vice.
Okay, manageable vice. I like that. All right. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you are tuned in to the Talk Chicago 1690 AM. We are having just barbershop talk. We talking like we at the barbershop. Now, if you are a black man in the world, you know that the barbershop is where you can just kind of chit-chat, talk about the things, the issues. No ways don't gotta be solved. You can go to the barbershop and solve the problems of the world. So today, I got a couple guys in and we just chatting. We are going to solve some of the problems of the world. Now, speaking of problems of the world, I talked a little bit about this last night. Serena Williams. So Serena Williams has left the fold. Serena Williams has left the fold. She is now about to marry a 6'5" white guy, co-founder of Reddit, $500 million company. On the way out the door, Serena said, and that's why white men treat black women better anyway. How do we respond to that? What you got for Pete? Come on, man. What you got for me?
Oh wow, man! I just dealt with this. All right, so that was legit.
And let me say this: you got. We're gonna continue this after the break, but you got about a minute.
Okay, so she really did say that. That wasn't like some fake news.
I'm gonna call it real news until I hear something different.
That's unfortunate. I think I come from my family's interracial marriages, so I come from a diverse background.
I grew up in Bolingbrook.
Right, so you know, so who you love is who you love. Now, anytime you begin to create you specify, then I have a problem. Or you say, I'm not going to do something because of, you know, as people are individuals. So whatever she experienced was based on her.
I'm going to tell you what she experienced. I guess maybe Serena Williams experienced growing up black with that body, but also that face. And so she is trying to overcome all of them white boys that made fun of her and called her all types of stuff when she was coming up in the tennis game. And now she wants to show me that. You are tuned in to the Talk of Chicago 1690 AM. We'll be right back.
She said you gonna like it now.
You ready? Y'all want to talk for real? Y'all want to talk for real? Because the reality is,
she said you gonna like this.
The reality is this. Hey, okay. Real talk. How many people have you ever heard say she is beautiful?
No.
Have you ever heard a brother say? Have you ever heard? No. Have you ever heard?
When they said it.
Have we heard a brother say she was beautiful? Or have we heard a brother say?
Am I on camera?
You will be now. Go ahead.
Oh, see?
Go ahead.
No, they haven't.
No, but listen, I beg to differ. I have said she was beautiful.
Yeah, because you was looking like, because her head was chopped off. Okay.
I'm still gonna play devil's advocate though.
Go ahead. Huh?
But not for her reason.
That's all I'm saying. I'm saying she did not win no beauty contest. I'm not the most handsome mother.
Beauty contest, she won.
Whoa! Hey, Vern, can we get that on camera?
You said she won the booty contest. She didn't win the beauty contest.
She did not.
Always two contests.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, right here. Ladies and gentlemen, we heard she did not win the beauty contest. We heard she won the booty contest. And that, my friends, is the real truth.
That's the barbershop.
That's what, right? That's the barbershop. Okay, so we are in the barbershop. Okay, right? We in the barbershop. We have real talk. Y'all mad at that? Don't be mad at that.
Are we back?
No.
The only thing I have to say to white people is, if you're not going to stand
I'm gonna tell you this. You know this better than anybody.
and use your voice to stop bigotry,
My cousin Quentin Richardson played in the NBA for a number of
let my
years.
people go.
And
Finally, black people.
he was engaged to Brandy, the
Regardless of all the
singer.
dysfunction and chaos,
And
as
he
well
was
as
playing
failed
in
policies
Phoenix,
to
and
empower
he had a
you.
house in
You've
Phoenix.
accomplished so much.
He
within
invited
reason.
me down.
You've
I go
not
down.
risen to the height in which
And
you are so clearly
I'm only
deserve,
staying for like
but
3
still
days, so
you
I
rise.
packed 3 days
I'm
worth
Carl
of
West. This
clothes.
is
I go
Speak the
down,
Truth. I write to differ.
get there, he lays the whole spread out, all the cars, the house, everything. And right before I had to get back to home and get back to my business, he tells me, he says, hey, we're going to have a little get together. It's supposed to be the day after I left. And Serena Williams, because she was friends with Brandy, I think they grew up like the same neighborhood or something.
Okay, I can see that.
And so I said, well, who all coming? And he tells me that Serena Williams is coming, man. And I wanted to stay. I couldn't stay, but I wanted to cancel all the business that I had to stay down there for that pool party in the desert to see Serena Williams, man.
But the question,
I regret it to this day that I didn't cancel my.
Here's the $1 million question. If she wasn't Serena Williams, the tennis player, and looked exactly the same, would you kiss her in the mouth?
Yes. She got an unbelievable body, man. Let's just.
What would you kiss her in the mouth if you didn't have to? If you did not have to kiss her in the mouth, would you?
No.
What is it? Pete? Pete.
That's just tough. That's hard. You know? That's hard.
Hey!
I'm joking.
Ty!
People can do a lot better than, a lot worse than Serena. Let's be honest.
I will be by your side.
Freudian slip. She won because of the booty.
There is a light that shines special for you and me. I never knew a love like this. You are tuned in to the Top of Chicago 1690 AM. It is your man, Maze Jackson. We are in the studio having a barbershop conversation. To my left, I have Mr. Vernon Spells, owner of the Hair Experts 1 and 2. On camera 2, I have Mr. Peter Salter, software engineer, and on the box. Excuse me. I'm sorry. What? Software sales. Software sales. Hey man, sales get that chop too. Stop fronting, man. Stop fronting. And on the box, your man Maze Jackson. Now before we left,
I'm getting roasted over here because of the comments about Serena.
Yeah, you agreed. So before we left, Serena went out. So before we went on break, Serena Williams decided to marry a white boy. And then deciding to marry a white boy on the way out the door, she said, and that's why white boys treat black women better.
Now, before we went to break, you didn't let. I had something to say.
Go ahead,
I
say
had
it.
something to say. We look at the pics that Serena had, the guys that she dated before. Okay, now I don't know all of them. I do know something about supposedly Common and Drake and all of these guys. So after kind of going through the posse or whatever, right?
Say it.
Right, after going through some notable brothers, it wasn't probably going to be too much space that Serena could have landed in, in the celebrity world.
She could. I got where she could have landed.
Where?
You notice, and I'm gonna tell you why she married a white boy. Notice in all them people you listed, did you hear one dark skinned brother? I'm telling you, I'm going there because I'm telling you. What I'm telling you is she got a complex.
Wow.
She got a complex. Her feelings got hurt for some years. Hey, brother, I know the complex when I see it. I know the
Well, Serena wasn't gonna start no East Coast West Coast beef over her or nothing like that. So
fellas. So the question is, the question is, in the barbershop, did we really lose one or not?
That's a tough question, man. I like Serena. I can't lie. I like Serena.
Okay, so thumbs up, thumbs down. Did we lose one when we lost Serena? Should the black community be upset? Should black men be upset that we lost Serena? Should we be upset about that?
I would say yes. We have to be. I mean, Serena is...
Vern, you can tell Vern got a beauty shop in his facility. Right? He tried to keep it lazy.
The best I can do is annoyed, because I stay annoyed. I'm annoyed by it. That's about it.
Okay, so Serena, we you know what?
Thanks for visiting.
Thanks for you know what though?
Sometimes I just like to see our black celebrities marry another black person.
That is lit.
That's what I want.
Black love is a great thing.
Yeah.
If that wasn't her, if that wasn't her thing, that wasn't her thing. She didn't have to go out the door,
She ain't have to give us.
We didn't see Michael Jackson do it. We didn't see Oprah do it. Can we at least? We'll take Serena at this point. What else? We didn't see Prince.
How about this?
What did we see?
This is what I say. Bye, Serena. Peace. All right. Now, next up. Seems like we got a call. So we are going to take Jay's call. Brothers, you know what? We've been having the barbershop. We did not invite people to give us a call. Give us a call, 773-591-1690. I'm going to tell you guys, though, these people are listening to the conversation and they are enjoying it. Jay, what you got for me, bro?
Yeah, how you doing? Thanks for taking my call.
You welcome.
I want to say Serena is bogus. She just needs to admit. She got a taste of pink penis. She didn't have to kiss black men because that's what she wanted her bedroom. She forget if it wasn't for black men fighting for black women to be respected because they used to get raped all the time, she wouldn't even have the opportunity to do that. So she really needs to check some history and be a lot more respectful and just admit that this is what she prefers. You don't have to diss anybody because you like a certain thing. It's okay. Just don't diss somebody about it. And she really ain't pretty.
Well, we've already